With 2 minutes left and a Sweet 16 berth on the line, Florida needed a stop. Even though the Gators normally only play zone about 10% of the time, Mike White elected to go 1-3-1 zone on one of their most important possessions of the season against 15-seeded Oral Roberts. But how did we get to this point, where a team that just a couple weeks ago was a 4 seed in the Summit League is now forcing an SEC team to adjust its defensive strategy in crunch time? That answer starts with 2 players, Max Abmas and Kevin Obanor. Abmas is the nation's leading scorer at just under 25 points per game. This season, he has an effective field goal percentage of 57% on jump shots taken off the dribble. That's the best percentage of any player that takes at least 5 of those per game. His deep logo range put extreme pressure on Ohio State and Florida's defense. The other Oral Roberts star, Kevin Obanor, also has a very unique skill set. He leads the country in points off of pick and pops. While the defense is busy focusing in on Abmas, Obanor will pop into the open area for a 3. On top of all of that, head coach Paul Mills has an offensive scheme that accentuates the strengths of his 2-star players. Oral Roberts plays with great spacing while also using situational cuts to put pressure on the defense. In this video, I'll explain those X's and O's and the coaching adjustments made during the Florida and Ohio State upsets. Oral Roberts actually played their Sweet 16 opponent Arkansas earlier in the season. They were up by 10 at half before Arkansas made a major second half adjustment. So stay tuned until the end of the video for more on that and for what to watch for in Saturday's Sweet 16 rematch against the Razorbacks. I'd really appreciate it if you could hit those like and subscribe buttons to help out the channel, and thank you for watching. As soon as Abmas steps over half court, he commands attention. You'll often see his defender put a hand up right at that half court line, almost as if to show his coach he remembers the scouting report to take away the 3-pointer. Oral Roberts uses that to their advantage by setting screens from way beyond the 3-point line, pulling the defense out beyond the perimeter. For about 90% of college players, the defense would normally just go under this Obanor screen. But because it's Abmas, Ohio State goes over the screen and gives some help, opening up the opportunity for a pick and pop 3. Now again, for most big men, this would just be a stunt. Just make the big guy think twice about his shot and then stay at home on the guard. With Obanor, you can't do that. He misses this one, but he's 46% from 3 on the season. And therein lies the problem for the defense. You can't let Abmas shoot behind the screen, but you also can't give Obanor any breathing room on the pop. That dynamic creates a situation like this one with OSU forced to fully rotate onto Obanor. Here they try to rotate all the way to the corner, but then there's confusion on the weak side. Obanor also plays tricks with the angle of the screen. In the second half against Ohio State, he started popping towards the middle of the court instead. It led to back-to-back 3-pointers. The same exact thing happened in the Summit League championship game. Obanor started the game popping to his right, knocking down 2 threes off of that action. Then came that same adjustment, flipping the angle for a pop to the middle. The other option is to set the screen flat. That gives Abmas the option to go either way. With OSU trying to stay attached to Obanor, it's an easy drive into the paint. The most straightforward way for the defense to take away that pop is to just switch, which is exactly what Florida did in round 2. Of course, that strategy leaves a big guy on Abmas, and those bigs just haven't been able to stay in front of him during the tourney. Against defenders worried about the 3-pointer, he likes to go to his hesitation dribble or the left to right cross. Oral Roberts used the boomerang pass against Florida. When Abmas got the switch, he'd initially give the ball up and then get it right back to now attack the big with a full head of steam. An underrated part of Abmas's game is his willingness to make the easy pass. When he has a mismatch, the defenders 1 pass away tend to move towards the ball, shrinking the floor to provide some extra help. Abmas doesn't try to do too much. He's able to sniff out that early help and make the right play. Kind of amazingly, the rest of Oral Roberts' players, not including Abmas and Obanor, are just 5 for 29 from 3 in the tournament. So the upsets haven't exactly been because of lucky shooting results. The opposite way of attacking the switch is by posting up Obanor against the guard. That's exactly what Oral Roberts went to on the first possession of overtime against Ohio State. But posting up Obanor against Florida led to some of their worst plays of the tourney. With the Florida guards fighting hard to front Obanor, the offense stagnated, turning the ball over. That was a difference from the Ohio State game where Oral Roberts had only 6 turnovers in the 45 minutes. Here's Paul Mills talking about that in his first round post-game press conference.
We knew that we were coming into a game where there wasn't going to be a whole lot of pressure. We do a good job taking care of the ball. That's not their strength. They do a number of things really, really well, obviously. But their strength isn't that they're going to pressure you. And so I thought any turnovers that we had were going to be self-inflicted.
On the other hand, Florida clearly came into the second round trying to be the aggressor. The Gators started in a 1-2-2 press. It just didn't really work, with Oral Roberts scoring at the back end of the press twice in a row. I bring that up because Arkansas actually did have some success extending their defense back in December against Oral Roberts. The Razorbacks got right up into A. Smith nearly the whole game, pestering him full court and making him work. The nation's leading scorer had just 11 points on 11 shots. But even with those struggles, Oral Roberts actually led the game by 10 at half. Arkansas started out trying to defend those pick and pops with drop coverage. But the problem with having 7'3" Connor Vanover dropped into the paint was that the pop was wide open for ORU. In the second half, Arkansas adjusted, benching Vanover and going small with Justin Smith at the 5. With that small ball lineup switching every ball screen, Oral Roberts resorted to those same Obanor post-ups as we saw during the Florida game. It's not that Obanor's incapable of scoring down there, he's capable. But if it means Arkansas has successfully taken away A. Smith and the pick and pops, they'll probably be willing to live with those post-ups in the rematch. Meanwhile, Vanover has actually fallen out of the rotation recently. He didn't play at all against Texas Tech, so expect small ball and plenty of switching from the Razorbacks on Saturday. I have more analysis on that matchup and the entire NCAA tournament coming on Friday in our Hoop Vision weekly newsletter. The link, as always, is in the description to sign up for that, and see you in the next one.
ABMAS, the B is silent.
A. Smith.